Hey everyone, J Rod Plays here, and today is going to be Monday, the final day of the second encounter challenge in the Salvation's Edge raid. And I finally got a little bit of time to put together the video today, so I'm going to try to get it out. So anybody who's kind of still struggling with it or trying to get it done on the last day has a chance to get it done. And hopefully this video gives you that information that you need in order to get over the top and get it checked off with the Triumph. Hopefully once Bungie actually fixes the Triumph tracking, since it wasn't tracking the first encounter, it's not tracking the next one, and I don't expect it to track the third one. I figure eventually once they get to it, they're just going to go back and look at our report and then from there add over what we need in order to clear that Triumph so that we can actually get the title if we're working on the title for the raid. So this encounter is not very different from the master version, which is also not very different from the normal version. So if you've seen my normal video, which I have on the channel, I'm going to link it below, then you'll pretty much be caught up on the mechanics. The main differences are going to be overloads that spawn in the master version. The overloads are going to spawn near where the statues are, or the arm spawns in the front edges of your section of the arena, right where you go down to go to the boss, to go to the herald, to get your call done, and to get the stolen favor buff. That's going to be where the overloads will spawn occasionally. They'll spawn a little further in, closer to your stairs on either side, or if you're in the middle, they'll be pretty much down there by where the arm is normally, if the arm ever comes to the middle. The way that you can control their spawning is anybody that comes off the stairs to go down to the arena to kind of start the process of doing the blights, that person, the first person to come down off the stairs on one of the sides, will spawn the overloads. If nobody does spawn them manually and you've gotten to the point where you've already spawned all of your resonances by doing the 2 pings, then you'll actually be able to spawn them when everybody goes in together, or right around the time that your enemy spawns your other large enemy, whether it be the wizard, the flanks, or the ogre. So that's just one thing to keep in mind, is the overloads, their spawning may seem inconsistent, but that's because you have people on your team that are kind of getting antsy and running into the middle instead of waiting and helping other people clear their larger enemies. In our team, since we were having a little bit of issues sometimes where the timing of everybody going to the middle was a little bit off, we were kind of stringing one after another, decided to wait until all the overloads were killed and all of the enemies, the major enemies, were killed, again, the flanks, the wizard, or the ogre, before we started to go into the arena. So that's one way to clean it up and to make sure that you're ready for your overload and your overload don't mess with you when you're trying to do the pinging. Speaking of that, I'm going to very quickly review how we do the pinging in Master, so that way you can kind of understand what we're doing and the setup that we have. So just like in the normal encounter, you have your 3 sides. So you have 2 on the left, 2 on the right, 2 in the middle. The middle, of course, is going to have the most room, so most people see the middle as the easiest. And that's actually going to come into play for us in our encounter because we chose the middle as the place where we were going to leave unclosed so that we could spawn extra resonance so that we can get the challenge done. Now, the challenge itself is to make sure that the people who dunk in the basket all have maximum resonance. That doesn't mean that if you don't have maximum resonance and you die that you have to fail the encounter right away. All that means is that you're losing those 3 resonance that you're going to be normally extending your time with, and you're going to have less time to try to get your resonance created and to get back to the box and get everything done so that you can do a second pass or a third pass. If you can get the boss killed in 2 passes, that's ideal, because the timing of the second pass, again, is always going to be a little tighter, so you don't want to have to start over. And even if you have a few seconds left, as long as you push the boss, you'll get your 35 second window to kill the boss in final stand. So it's ideal to try to get this done in 2 phases. The next thing to keep in mind when you're trying to do the challenge is that if you only have 1 or 2 resonance, you're going to want to not dunk them. Don't worry, if you die, you can be res in a safe spot, and you can time when you res that. You could even stand to the hand and kill yourself, and on the edge of the hand. You can do a lot of different things to make sure that you don't end up throwing the encounter, especially if you have that 1 or 2 resonance. You just want to hold off and not dunk them and let your team get in the DPS. So that's the way that you can avoid failing the encounter, is dunking in the box with less than 3 resonance. And the way that we have enough resonance to dunk is that we have our people in the middle stay open. The 2 side people will close their conductors, head to the middle, and the people who are doing the closing will have already grabbed 3 resonance. They stand on the plate to close, which takes 1 resonance. Close the conductor like normal. You shoot the conductor and then stand on the plate. And then from there, you're going to run to the middle and you're going to grab a resonance as well. Now, I tended to grab the resonance that was up in the window. So as I'm running up, I'm going to put some footage up so you can see it. I go up the middle stairs like normal, and then I hang a little bit of a right and jump up to the window that you can see there. And there's usually always a resonance there from the first ping when the people are doing an extra ping back and forth, because mind you, they have their 3 already. And what they do is the person who is closing at that pillar only picks up 1 resonance, so that whenever they close, they have 0 resonance, meaning they won't die to resonance. And then the other person, of course, has their 3 resonance, and then they ping an extra time, so that way there's resonance all the way around. And the person who grabs 3 ends up grabbing the 3 toward the back. They're going to grab the 3 toward the back stairs, and the ones that spawn on the top, but they're going to leave the window, and they're going to leave the one in the very center for the people who are coming from the middle. So we don't have to go very far, because then we have to obviously track back across and go and dunk in the box. Now, when you go to the box, you want to make sure that you're not there super early so that you get killed and you're just standing there helplessly. If you're a Titan, put up a barricade. Hunters, if you have invisibility, you can stand there with invisible. And then once the Warlock gets there, the Warlock can put down a rift or a healing turret. And that's going to be just a heal grenade with the speaker helm. From there, you stand there grouped in your protection. You dunk and make sure that you get your dunk off. Make sure that you have your 3 resonance, because if you dunk without the resonance, you fail the challenge again. And then from there, you go into the damage phase. Just again, a quick refresher on the mechanics themselves. I'm not going to go too deep into them like I do in my first one. But again, when you're split, you're going to kill all the ads. There's going to be the 2 spawns left and right. Then you're going to get that extra spawn with the wizard, the ogre, or the flanks. You kill that extra spawn, you kill the big person, that's going to unlock your plate, and then from there you're going to do 2 pings. You're going to send it once up, they're going to send it back, you're going to send it up a second time, they're going to send it back, and on this encounter, all you need is those 2 pings to create your 3 resonance. So once you've sent up the second time, the person on the top comes down, they let it fail for speed purposes, and that's going to spawn you a second wizard, flanks, or ogre, depending on which side you're on. You team up on that, and then once you've killed that, then you can force spawn your overloads. You kill your overload, and then once you kill the middle overload, you get into the middle if you have Call to Reckoning, and get ready for the Blight phase. The Blight phase hasn't changed. The only difference is that if you have ads left up and things during the Blight phase, they can be a little bit difficult to deal with, so try to kill all your ads before the Blight phase begins. Knock down your 2 or 3 Blights, depending on how fast you are. Shoot him in the head. Try to get your Call to Reckoning buff to convert to the Stolen Favor buff. And then from there, once you have Stolen Favor, get back into your side and pick up your 3 resonances. Now, you see the resonance if you're the person with Stolen Favor that you need. And what we were doing was we were saying to the other person, you get to collect this. So if I was coming back in my example and I had a sphere resonance showing, I would tell Tamatoa, who was with me, hey, go ahead and grab triangles. And I grab all the spheres. This is just to keep it clean. You can technically grab 2 resonance and leave 1 of each there, and then just pick up the 1 that you need, but that's just a little extra step for an LFG, and this is just an LFG guide to help it make it simple. So to keep it simple, you just grab the 3 that you know, and from there you run up and get the other one from the middle phase. So what I was doing was killing the ads up top, grabbing the 3, going to the middle, helping with their ads, grabbing my triangle out of the window, and then going to the box to get ready to dunk. Also, if you have a little bit of time and you have the ammo, of course, you can kill ads on the left until it's time to dunk in the box. But the box should be there by the time you get running back from that, because the other people would have cleared. By the time you cross, the other person in the middle should be closing, because time's going to be tight. It's going to be like 30 seconds left roughly. And then you go into the damage phase. Since you're no longer dealing with burns in the master, you can pick on whatever you want as far as you can pick whatever loadout that you like, that you feel like you do the most damage with. I was running the Yaller Sword for my team, so my loadout was the Call, the Yaller Sword, which is Ergo Sum, and I was using a bait and switch Frenzy Falling Guillotine because that does a good amount of damage. It's pretty consistent for me, and so I would start out shooting the Call, I would hit it with the Yaller Sword, and then I would start doing damage with the bait and switch sword, which will proc bait and switch, and then after about 10 seconds I would refresh my Yaller Sword, and make sure I'm throwing the grenades in there for Transcendence, so that'll help with ammo for the Yaller Sword as well. And then if I run out of ammo for whatever reason, then I can use the Yaller Sword to close out the fight. And that's what I probably ended up doing, if I remember correctly, on this run. I ended up finishing with the Yaller Sword because I just dumped all of my ammo into the boss for Final Stand. So it's a nice setup, because when you're running on your artifact the Overload Sword, you don't have to worry about having an Overload weapon other than your swords that you're already using. So you just go up and sword the Overload, and if you hit him with a few light attacks, he'll stun, and then you can hit him with the heavy attack, and then you can hit him with the Yeller attack, which gives you Wolfpack rounds. I was actually using my Ergo Sum to do the stunning after a certain point, because I was like, I have all this extra ammo on it normally. I only use it for heavy attack to proc the Wolfpack rounds for the swords. So I would hit it with a Wolfpack round heavy attack, and then I would go and do my damage either with the sword, or I would swap to my bait and switch sword and finish it off if I felt like I needed to, because I was trying to get it into finish territory, so that way it wouldn't have a chance to attack me or my teammate and cause a wipe by having a death with resonance and things like that. The biggest deal in this situation is going to be execution, making sure that everybody who is picking up the resonance stays safe. There's a few safe spots that you can stand in the back of the map where the box is spawning. There's like some rocks there. You can actually kind of tuck yourselves in behind some of those rocks, almost off the side of the map if you're worried about dying and you're one of the two people who are just collecting. So for us, that was the senders. Like Tamatoa, for example, was a sender on my side. Once he picked up his 3 resonance, his job was done after he sent me the resonance ping from his plate to my plate, because my conductor will close shortly after that. So all he had to do was hop down and maybe go help clear on the middle side. But if he was struggling, for example, which I don't believe he was, but let's say somebody was struggling like that in his position, you can go and hide and wait for the box, especially because sometimes, the tight timing in our run that we actually cleared it, we did it with 1 second because we were trying to wait for additional pings, and I was just telling him, hey, close it. We were already on the second damage phase, and I had 2 resonance, and I was like, don't worry, I don't think I have enough time to grab resonance. So in this case, I held on to my resonance to make sure that I didn't wipe us. We closed the box with 1 second left. There were people already waiting on the box, and then we just went to town, and we had to make sure that we were tight with our damage rotations, and I had to make sure I had enough grenades out so I can get that additional damage whenever he would bump us back. I had to make sure that my Galler Sword was always up, that I had my bait and switch up in between those transitions, so really pay attention to my swaps and the damage that I'm doing. So when he would pop me back, I would hit him with the call, then I would come and hit him with the Galler Sword again to refresh, and then I would go and I would hit him with my regular sword and go from there with all of the Wolfpack rounds and everything. So it was challenging, but it's still very doable with an LFG as long as you are playing survivability in your class, whatever you are. I was on my Warlock, but I've actually done it on my Hunter too. I did an invis build on my Hunter, and I was able to stay alive by using the ultimate invisibility build that I have that I use for my GMs. That one is going to be using the Graviton Forfeit Helmet, I believe is what it's called, which extends your invisibility, and I had it to where I could loop invisibility almost indefinitely using my dive to go invisible first, which would use my melee. Then from there I had the Gambler's Dodge, so that if I dodged next to something, it would give me back my melee so that I could quick fall again later on. So I would use my dive, wait until it's about to run out. With 1 or 2 seconds left, I would dodge next to an enemy. That would give me my invisibility back, and then I would quick fall a 3rd time if I needed it a 3rd time, and by that time my dodge was already almost back. And then of course picking up orbs and stuff, you can run where picking up an orb gives you class ability, and that'll speed it up as well to where you always have it in the loop. Normally I was only down 1 or 2 seconds, and you have to make sure that whenever it's time to close, for example, you run over there, you shoot your conductor to prime it, and then you go invis, so that way you can stay invis while waiting for the ping to close. And then once you've done that, you can get safely away from all the enemies and pick at them and kill them, hopefully with the boss not shooting you in the back. And that was a very easy way for me to handle that side, being somebody who was closing the conductor on my Hunter. So I did it, my Hunter on my Warlock. I just didn't have enough time on my Titan. I'll probably still give it another shot before reset today, Monday, and get that done. So those are pretty much most of the tips and tricks that I would give to people. Just the final review on some of the things. In my build, I was running a build with the Fellwinter's Helm. That build was actually very useful because I was sliding in and using the slide attack for the Warlock on Arc, and that would then shoot arc all over the place, which would kill the little small attendants, which would then stun the larger enemies with Fellwinter's Helm. And if I was able to, I would finish off the knight that spawns, because the knight's shield would pop and it would be down to like 10%. That would then put on another burst, which would stun the wizard on my side. I was on the left, so that's going to be the wizard, but that still applies to the ogre, and that applies to the flanks. Not only will it stun them, it'll debuff them, so they take additional damage from your weapons. And then I would just sword them with my Ergo Sum, or whatever your special weapon is that you're using. I would just use special on them, or just continue to pelt them with the call if you were running something like Special Finisher, and you can generate ammo for yourself without running out of ammo, and you'll be fine. Really controlling the overload spawns is important. Talking to each other about who's going down the stairs, so you know when overload's about to spawn. That way you're not dealing with an overload and a large major. So again, the wizard, the flanks, or the ogre, especially the ogre on the ogre side, can be difficult to some. I was seeing people in some LFGs struggling on the ogre. In this case, Guardian and Alpha were on the right there, working with their ogre, and sometimes it would get a little bit out of hand for them from what I could see. In some of our runs, they got it down pretty good though toward the end, and it wasn't a problem. So it's just a matter of getting reps with your team, getting comfortable with who's doing what. When it comes time to do the final send, you're going to want to make sure that you split up and you go up the stairs to the sides that you have your resonance on, and you're going to clear on the way up. What I would do is I would pick up my 3, and then I would clear, and I would help the top person clear about half their ads. So I would kill like 2 or 3 attendants, and then I would maybe kill the knight up there, and then hop down and get ready to shoot the conductor so that I can close the conductor in a timely manner. Because you don't want to spend too much time, since you only have like a minute or so when you're starting to collect your resonance to get down there and close the conductor. So that's what I would do, is kind of making sure that the person on the top was clear so they don't die, because if they die, especially if they die with resonance, it can end your run, because you're going to need that person to dunk their 3. The way the box works is the first person that dunks extends it to about 30 seconds, regardless of how much resonance they dunk. The second person that dunks, if they have maximum resonance, then it gives you the maximum time. Third person, fourth person, and fifth person from there. And you're always only going to ever have 5, because the person that's closing the middle pillar is only going to pick up 1 resonance, meaning that once they're done depositing their resonance into the plate and they've closed their conductor, they'll have 0 resonance. And it's important they do that, because then they don't want to die to the resonance timer, since they're not going to get a resonance again in time to refresh that counter. So that's another important thing that you want to keep track of, is making sure that you have everybody alive. A lot of deaths while holding the resonance can cause you to wipe it, and you should wipe it if you only have like 2 people with resonance or 3 people with max resonance, because usually not going to be enough time. I would say if you have about 4 people with max resonance dunk, then you're perfectly fine. And if you have somebody that is stuck with only 1 or 2 resonance, make sure they do not dunk so they don't ruin the challenge. Just let them time out and die, and then res them when it's time. They'll tell you when they're about to die. You can regroup someplace safe, res them, and move on. So that's one thing that you want to try to do, is keep your team on the same page when it comes to the resonance, and make sure again that you're not dying with the resonance. And so that means hiding, that means taking a little bit more time, recouping yourself, going and clearing the ads together, whatever you have to do, as long as you're leaving yourself enough time to dunk before the time expires on the box. In the end, it doesn't matter how long you're taking, because again, your timing is right on your team. If everybody else is quick and you have one team that's struggling, the other teams can then close their conductors and have the team that's struggling be the last conductor, go help them close the conductor, and then move on from there. So that's another way to adjust. If you have any additional questions, or if there are things that are going on in your run that you don't understand, that maybe I didn't specifically cover because our team wasn't experiencing some of those difficulties, you can let me know. If you are looking at the video and for whatever reason super interested in the build that I have, and you'd like me to put that build up somewhere, I can do that as well. Since there's only 1 day left, I'm not sure I'll be able to catch it with enough time. Essentially, it's just a Fellwinter's Helm build with the Lightning Surge aspect. You can pretty much build around it from there. That's the major portion of the build, is sliding in there, killing the attendants with your Lightning Surge, and then that's going to debuff the bigger stuff, and then you can do it again when they spawn again, and that's going to debuff the Knight and the big ad, whatever they are, on your side. After this, what I'm going to do is play the encounter that I have full, so that you can see what we did with the callouts and everything, and kind of get an understanding about how it worked. There is a little bit of interference from some of the mics since I was doing this in party chat. I tend to usually be in Discord when I'm doing this, but sometimes when, of course, LFG, you have to do party chat, and so that's what we had. We had Alpha Zero with us, who was very enthusiastic, so he may talk over a little bit of some of the callouts because he was very vocal, and then somebody else had a little bit of feedback in their mic throughout the encounter, so you'll hear that too, so excuse that as well. But thanks very much for watching the end of the video. If you have any additional questions or need any additional help, drop me a comment below. I'll be glad to get to it when I can, and I'll see you guys in the next guide.
Hey, at least we get the damage phase. The people I was with before can't even get there.
Sending it.
Alright, sending left.
It's one.
Going back. Sending left.
It's 2.
Alright, sending left. Coming down.
Oh no!
Plates. Oh my goodness, stop it.
He's gonna kill me. Holy shit.
He's broken. We need triangle.
Okay, you're gonna pick up triangle. I'll pick up circle.
What's
Guardian, you
up?
have circle.
Triangle. Triangle.
I can send it now. You ready?
Not yet. Not yet. Kill these attendants.
right side.
Alright, go ahead and close.
Yep.
Alright, sending left.
Alright, come middle with me.
Come get middle.
It triangles to pick up the middle.
Okay, get
Get
into
your
a
3
box.
and let me know when y'all
Alright.
are done.
Right side's fully done.
Yeah, we're done.
Okay, send it. Alright, go dunk. Don't die, please.
Everyone deposit.
Oh, look at that. Some orbs. Let me even get up.
Way better DPS. That's a 2-phase right there if we can fucking do the same thing.
Yeah,
Wolfpack rounds is the
Yeah,
shit,
the well
bro.
is in the well and the Wolfpack runs.
yeah, nice adjustments.
That shit went crazy.
Bro, get the fuck out of here, bro.
I know that treasure plays is really high behind the walls, bro.
Alright, sending left.
Okay, 1.
Alright, I'm sending it.
Sending left.
Just going back.
It's 2.
Back. That's 1.
Sending left. Coming down.
Back.
Okay.
Go.
There's our overload.
Where is there shooting him?
Guess we'll get him in a sec. Oh, there he is. Okay, go ahead.
Alright.
Lights.
You're clear.
He's working. Need the circle.
Circles. They're close.
Circles are close. Okay.
Yeah.
Guardian, you got circle.
Alright, just stay on your plan. I'm gonna send it as soon as I can.
You need circle.
I'm sending it now.
Which side? Which side?
Gotcha.
Go middle.
Left is clear. You can send.
Or Guardian, go box in case we need
Alright,
somebody
sending
to
left.
knock right away.
Yeah, I'm there, I'm there.
Right side's fully done.
Very quickly, come get your
Just close.
circles on the left.
We're gonna die if you don't
Send
close.
it, send
7
it, send it,
seconds.
send it, send it. Dunk.
Dunk it.
Got
Nice.
it.
Let's go.
You just have to res me after DPS phase if we don't.
Bro,
That's-
one
that's fine.
second.
That's fine.
1 fucking second, bro.
Alright, well, we gotta kill him now.
Yeah, we
Fuck
can't
it.
risk, we can't risk going to 3.
Yeah, we can't go to 3 period. Kill him right here. This is the fucking challenge. Hope transcendence if you have it. Use everything.
I'm saving my super for final. Get him, push him.
No!
Come on, we got him. We got him. We got him.
It's fine. I'll just
Res,
get him.
res, 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 res.
We're good.
30 seconds. We got 30 seconds. Get him out.
Yeah, hit him now. Hit him now.
30 seconds.
We got this,
Come
baby.
on.
We got this.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Good teamwork, guys. Is it the challenge though? Did we fuck up? Did somebody took
No.
3? I mean times 2?
I didn't dunk two. No.
No, we got it.
Yeah, there's a second chest. I held on to mine just so that
We-
we could.
We
win
got it though?
Yeah,
yeah, we
good
got it.
shit.
Oh, it's
Hey, I got the
nullified.
sniper.
Nice. That's what I wanted.
Ooh,
I got the sniper too.
I got the sniper with chill clip, reconstruction on the right side, headstone, firing line, and fucking chaos reshaped. I think this is the god roll. What the fuck?
That's pretty much the guy, yeah.
Yeah, what the hell?
That's an interesting role. Demo adrenaline.
Firefly for TV and dynamic info clip for TV.